The strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright, guys. And is it chat saying? I've been in. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I've been. Yep. Hey, buddy. How are you, man? Hello. Sorry, yeah. I'm a little unorganized, guys. I'm a little late. I was doing some house stuff. Yeah. I'm still trying to put it in the kitchen. Alright, so, alright. I hadn't even not seen that the link. We're going to talk about UFOs. We're going to talk about UFOs. No, I haven't even heard of that one. What's going on? Look. I knew they were going to do something like this. Ban the hash. Oh, bash. B-A-S-H. The. Yep. It is coming up that. Oh my god, they are too. Fashtag. They're calling it fashtag. Oh, sorry, people can't hear you. Sorry. My bad.
Hear me?
No,
okay.
they can. Yep, so like I said, totally organised today, guys. Totally prepared.
Yeah.
And I just did the OK simple when I did that. So yeah, so you're suggesting the bash the hashtag. And apparently they've gone through and look. You want to talk about this later? Give me a break for.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to talk about this. This is big news.
Yeah. All right, let's do bash the hash as well. Bash the hash.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it is too. We're also going to talk about the EU elections.
Oh yeah, all right, cool. Because I don't know how that went actually.
It wasn't ideal, but there's some good sides and there's a lot of good coming out of it. But obviously people like Saigon and that did not do well.
Oh well.
At least he gave it a try. And I must admit, I saw certain people that we know on Twitter. I remember Ralph Report having a shot at Saigon for not doing well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, felt like turning around and saying, replying to Ralph, man, at least he gave it a try, man. What did you do? Life control room. Right. Okay, we're ready. Alright. Hello, everybody. Hello, Eric. Hello, Satellite. Hello. And Anthony. Hello, guys. Alright, so I have sent out the link for the Twitter. And yeah, okay. Alright, so we'll talk about Bash the Hash. That obviously, so Saigon. That fucking satellite is just talked about. We're also going to talk about the EU election, and we'll also talk about UFOs, a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a typical Monday. So, you want to talk about the EU election first?
Go for it, man.
Alright. So, obviously, guys, all these segments will be recorded. They'll be uploaded separately yet again. I'm going back to doing that because it was good for the channel. And it's also good for people that just want to go through and catch those ones as well. But alright, let's jump into it. So, EU elections were held over the weekend. We got the results yesterday morning, our time. Literally about 24 hours ago, so wherever you are, minus a day, roughly that's when the results came in. There's been some huge shocks. There's been some huge gains. And obviously some of the people that we would like to have seen to run obviously haven't done well. But we'll talk about that in a sec. Centra, regarding staying up all night last night for the EU elections. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Yeah, guys, obviously, look, Janet, welcome to the chat. Guys, obviously, if you were in our Discord, you would have got the results for Tommy Robinson and Saigon and stuff like that pretty much live. Because when it was coming out, we were tweeting or typing it up on the Discord. So at the end of the day, changes the UK's Anne Sobry attacks her own leader after party fails to win a single seat at the European election. So Change UK has struggled in the wake of its electoral disaster, with one of its senior MPs attacking its own party's interim leader for suggesting the supporters should vote for the Liberal Democrats instead. Anne Salisbury, the party's Brexit spokesman, accused Heidi Allen of making bizarre comments ahead of the European election in which Change UK failed to win any MEPs. Days before, Miss Allen had spoken in support of voting Liberal Democrat candidates outside London and the South East, saying that had it been left to me, I would have absolutely advised tactical voting. So, what she is talking about here is that she's basically turning around saying, we're not going to get enough seats to make a change. Instead of voting for us, vote for the Liberal Democrats. They can pull their votes together and they can possibly influence change on that. It's a good tactic. It's bad for that, obviously, for the Change UK party, because they're not going to get any seats or anything like that. But it is a smart tactic if you want to affect change. It's sort of sacrificing your own votes for someone else's party to possibly make change if they have similar politics. But obviously this is not the only huge outroar that's come out. Guess how Marine Pen went in France? Saigon? Saigon. Why do I keep calling this Saigon? Satellite? Guess how Marine Pen went in France?
Terrible.
Nah. Complete opposite. So Marine Pen has smashed Macron, and actually has seats in the MEP for the European election. Since then, Marine Pen has actually came out. Well, the people are putting it down to the 28 weeks of yellow vest protesting, and I just think it's because of the fact that Macron is just not popular. But you know what, vice versa, I suppose. But Marine Pen has Emmanuel Macron should definitely resign, but has neither the honesty to do it nor the panic, which I think means guts.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Marine Pen, leader of the National Rally Party in France, and in a Breitbart News exclusive interview on Monday, called on French President Emmanuel Macron to resign the presidency, but said it is not honest or bold enough to recognise his worldview has been defeated. The United Kingdom, Le Pen noted that David Cameron stepped down as Prime Minister when the British people voted to leave the European election back in 2016. And in 2019, Le Pen noted Prime Minister Theresa May announced her plans to resign after the Brexit Party defeated her party and all others in the UK's European Election Parliament. Now, that's not entirely true. Theresa May saw the writing on the wall, and then she left beforehand. But regardless. Le Pen told Breitbart News that Macron should definitely follow Cameron's and May's lead to resign from the French presidency, but Macron has neither the honesty nor the panic to do it, Le Pen said. Even if Macron hangs onto the presidency and refuses to resign despite the stinging defeat in this week's election, Le Pen told Breitbart News that Macron must dissolve parliament immediately and hold new elections as soon as possible.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that most of France would actually agree with that, but anyway. They should happen immediately because of yesterday's result, but most because of Macron's posture during the election where he was not warranted or of the constitution, but he became an active player in one of the parties, Le Pen said in more than 20-minute phone interview. But yeah, Le Pen did absolutely really, really well in France. She absolutely smashed Macron. Look, people are saying that it's as a result of the 26 weeks Yellow Vest protest. I suppose at least the mainstream media is acknowledging that's still going at the moment. That's a plus, I suppose. You know, considering they've been ignoring it for the past 16.
Yeah, not only that, they've been ignoring the fact that the violence against the protesters has been disgusting.
Oh yeah. There's been a lot of photos that have come out where like French police have wrapped up people and like lined people up and it is like the photos that you saw coming out of World War II.
Mm.
Like there's a whole bunch of people on their knees, hands behind their back, arrested, and someone actually went through and showed a photo of the two side by side, and dead set make the photo from 2019 black and white. And it looks exactly like the like the actual like the World War II photos. So yeah. But anyway, obviously this is more Macron. More EU news. Farage declares that it's just the beginning after Brexit Party victory in the EU elections. So I do have a theory about this, but let's just jump into this for a sec. Nigel Farage has led the Brexit Party to a victory while the establishment parties are left asserting the damage after the historic loss, with the Brexiteers declaring this is just the beginning. With almost all regions counted, the Brexit Party has a clear lead after winning around 1/3 of the vote and projected to have gained 29 seats in a distant second. The pro-Remain Liberal Dems had won 15 seats. So to give you an idea, 15 seats for the people that wanted to stay, 29 seats for the people that wanted to leave. Almost double the amount of seats.
Nice.
At the end of the day, can we put this whole we want a second vote? Can we put this to bed now? Can the UK just get on and get out of the EU? Like, they've deliberately stalled. Theresa May talked about having a second referendum. Okay, here's your second referendum. This was your second referendum over the weekend. Right? People want to effing leave. So, leave. Like, how many times do you have to get told to leave before you guys get the hint they want you to leave? But anyway. While the New Change UK or CUK establishment solely to stop Brexit failed to gain a single seat. Never before in British politics has a party in just 6 weeks old won national election, Farage posted to his Twitter on Monday. But if Britain does not leave the EU on October the 31st, the results will be repeated at a general election. History has been made. This is just the beginning. Dude, that should let the EU know, bureaucrats know people are dead serious about leaving the EU. That is very true, Eric. That is the big takeaway that the mainstream media is not talking about right now, but we'll get to that in a sec. Brexit, the Brexit Party. Do you think... Okay, so, and this is something that I was watching Gerald Button, I think it was Gerald Button, talking about, where he turned around and he said that these guys don't really have a policy on anything but Brexit. Do you think the Brexit Party, because they came in just 6 weeks ago, right? They came in after Sargon and all these sort of guys announced that they were running.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the establishment, for lack of a better word, thought it is probably better if we have Nigel Farage running against us than it is this UKIP, complete strangers, internet celebrities going through and running? Do you think that maybe Brexit was brought in to sabotage UKIP's vote?
It's possible.
Because I was sort of looking at Nigel Farage's policies and stuff. Yeah, he's great on Brexit, and this is something that Gerald Button, I think it's Gerald Button, said. He's great on Brexit, but he's very light on immigration. He's very light on everything else, actually. He's, people like to go through and claim that Nigel Farage is anti-establishment, and we've seen this when Macron was running with the election. We've seen them try and brand Emmanuel Macron as anti-establishment as well. But at the end of the day, the fact is that we knew that back then Macron, look, he went to work with these guys in the past. He's worked with, these sort of fat cat bankers and everything in the past. How is Macron an anti-establishment? They always tried to make it out that Macron was an outsider when it came to France's 2018, I think it was, election. Now they're trying to do the same thing with Nigel Farage. He dodges Islam and immigration, Centra is saying in chat. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah, he's very light on immigration and on Islam.
Yeah, basically I think that when he saw people taking up the UKIP party, he ran away. I don't know, I tend to think that maybe he was controlled opposition from the start, and when his party got taken out and turned into something real, I think you might be onto something. He's gone and produced the UKIP party.
Oh,
and
2017. Sorry, 2017 for France's election. Really? It was 2 years ago. Sorry, what were you saying?
What was I up to? It's he's also locked down the new party, so it can't get infiltrated again.
That's true. The party is very much picked by him. It is very much a authoritarian sort of design. I don't know. It's just I'm thinking that the establishment would much rather have someone like Nigel Farage on their corner, or working with Nigel Farage, than they would with working with Sargon or Count Dankula or Gerald Button or any of the other guys. Yeah,
and that's what I'm thinking. I think you're onto something there. Yeah, you're more than likely right on that.
Maybe. Look, at the end of the day, Sargon, Count Dankula, Gerald Button, UKIP guys managed to watch this video for some weird reason. Don't give up. This was very much a vote on Brexit, I would say. And at the end of the day, I think that when it comes to the general elections, that UKIP will do a lot better than Brexit, because Brexit doesn't really have any policies. They start asking Nigel Farage about immigration, about Muslim radical Islam, stuff like that, and then at the end of the day, he's literally going to fall behind in the polls.
Yeah, I hope he does.
UKIP and the Brexit Party are the only parties who also bar people who are ex-Antifa, Britain First, EDL, and BNP. Yeah, that's true. Although, yeah, with Tommy Robinson, they were going to let him in. There was a little bit of and ahhing about letting Tommy Robinson in there too. But anyway, let's keep going with the EU news. Brexit Party also Brexit Party win also a victory for Trump. So the stunning victory of the Brexit Party in Britain's election for the European Parliament is also a massive win for President Donald Trump, and a warning to American politics that the establishment that the potential. And a warning to the American political establishment about the potential political cost of undermining the agenda on which Trump was elected. So, Nigel Farage's party won 30% of the votes, and 9 of 10 regions in the UK. The Liberal Democrats won 20% of the nationally and came first place in London, but nowhere else, and both Labour and the Conservatives crashed. So, no one's surprised that the Liberal Democrats won in London because of the huge influx of migrants. Big surprise on that one. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would say I'm not surprised by that at all. So Brexit Party won 29 seats. Liberal Democrats, they won 16, which is up 15. LAB won 10, which is down 9. UKIP actually picked up 0 seats, which is a loss of 24. So basically, the 24 seats they lost probably went to Brexit, the Brexit Party. So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, not good news for Brexit, obviously. Brexit Party, but anyway. British coolest mayor is now on Europeans' coolest MEP. Okay. The mayor who branded Donald Trump a waste man and banned him from his city has won a seat in the European election. Major was hailed as the coolest mayor of the UK last year after posting on top of a staircase banister for his official photo. The 29-year-old who moved to Sheffield from Somalia when he was 5 was both the youngest Lord Mayor of the city has ever seen in the first Green Party councillor to take on the role. Remember when I was saying that I'm more worried about a certain demographic than another certain demographic controlling the elections?
Yeah. I do remember you saying that.
Anyway, yeah, the alt-right, anytime you want to talk about that, just let me know. They know what I'm talking about. I'd love to debate him on that. I'd love to debate him on that topic, to be honest. 4 takeaways from the European Parliament election. Europeans' traditional centrist coalition has lost majority of the European Union's Parliament election Sunday, with the far-right Populist Party and the liberal pro-European unions both gaining grounds. The results suggest a complicated future for the EU. Complicated to say the least. As voters look for new ways forward, which does not involve the majority of the EU. More than 50% of European voters turned out last week to vote in the parliamentary elections, the highest turnout in 2 decades and the sharpest increase from the elections in 2014. So the centre-left, centre-right coalition lost its majority. Now, obviously, keep in mind that they are using the data from, I think this is from NPR, so what they call centre-left and centre-right is establishment, basically. So the centre-left, centre-right group, centre-right group known as the European People's Party and the centre-left Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, S&D, held 54% of the seats before the vote. Now they're down to 43% according to Sunday's results. The two blocs together lost more than 70 seats, along with the majority they held for decades. So, yeah, that's quite a loss. That's quite a big loss. They've lost 70 seats in the EU Parliament. The results suggest that European centrists will have to reach out and unite more broadly with liberal delegations in order to effect change, the main authority in the EU. Now, this is where I mean by their definitions. The far right, and that's their terms, not ours, of course, but gain ground, but not as much as expected. So don't worry, it's not a total disaster, so to speak. Populist Eurosceptic parties across Europe saw gains, but less than what some pre-election polls had predicted, but what the pro-EU forces had feared, and the various national parties' differences over issues like immigration and attitudes towards Russia could cloud perspectives for a united right. So, what happened was not really what a lot of people were fearing, that there would be a surge to the far right populists. The Swedish Prime Minister and now co-chair of the European Council and Foreign Relations, Karl Bartwert, told NPR on Monday, there was an increase by the far right, their quotes, not ours, but fairly marginal and far less than what people had predicted. So in other words, it's okay that they didn't gain as much as we expected. They're just gaining ground. And of course, when they mean by far right, well, we know what they mean by that. That's just basically anybody that's anti-establishment, anti-immigration, NGO, bringing a whole bunch of people over. So in France, the far right National Party, or what we like to call the people with brains, Le Pen narrowly beat French Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron's party coalition, though Le Pen's party won by less than 1% with 23% of the votes. She dubbed it a victory for the people of Twitter. You always have to get worrying when they start talking about percentages. She only won by 1% more than Macron. Okay. How many people are in France? Millions? That 1% is quite a big difference, really, isn't it? But how many seats did Le Pen win? I'm pretty sure she gained a few, actually. 1 seats in EU.
I think she won in a landslide, isn't it?
Just looking it up now. I thought it was quite a decent amount. Okay, so held off okay, so they're saying that Marine Le Pen, Matteo Salvini, and Nigel Farage all won. Alright, so he won 23% of the votes. She won 24.2%. But that doesn't say. It's funny because none of mainstream media is actually saying how many seats she actually won.
Do they have the preferences over there? Because if they do,
yeah, they do. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why they don't want to say the seats, because it might have been a narrow, victory on the surface, but the reality is that she might have just lost tons of seats.
Just trying to quickly find it, guys. Yeah, so there's a whole preference treatment that goes on. When it comes to this whole European, that they were explaining it once, and it was really complicated.
Yeah, but it's the same in Australia. We have that silly shit too.
Yeah.
I kinda wish we didn't.
Well, it's a good way in the fact that smaller parties get to
No, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
like you imagine like someone like Pauline Hanson or whatever. If like if she didn't give her preferences like to Liberals, for example, in the last election, we'd probably have a Labor government by now. I can't seem to find. Oh, actually, I might have it on this here. What was her party? Did they say?
Marine Le Pen.
Yeah. Did I say what was her party?
I'm not actually sure.
National Rally. Okay, so here's all them here. I can't find it, guys. I can't find how many seats. She didn't win in a landslide. Oh, okay, she didn't. That's at least 50, or maybe more. Yeah, okay. European Direct or something they're saying in chat. I heard it was a landslide. But, National Rally Party. So... National Rally. I can't see it. Oh, here we go. French. So, France. She won 7 seats. But that doesn't tell me how many were actually in there. So it's the EFF. EPP, sorry. Oh no, I'd have to look it up. I knew she won. I heard it was a landslide, so it might be fake. Might be fake news on that, guys. I thought it was a landslide victory. So yeah. Anyway, but beat French President Macron with less than 1% of the vote, with 23% of the votes. She adopted a victory for the people on Twitter. The League, Italy's far right, and you know what I mean by that. Their quotes, not ours. Populist Party, led by Deputy Prime Minister Matt Salvini, also saw a sweeping victory, garnering more than 34% of the country's vote. Not only is the largest top party in Italy, Marine is also the top party in France. Nigel Farage is the top party in the UK. So Italy, France, and the UK is a sign of Europe that's changing, Salvini said in a press. In Hungary, the Nationalist Fritz Party of Prime Minister Viktor Orban took more than 52% of the votes. In Austria, Conservative Chancellor Kurz Austrian People Party won the election Sunday, but Kurt was ousted Monday when he lost a no-confidence vote, stemming from the scandal that erupted last week over the coalition party far-right Freedom Party. The party feared worse than had previous elections. Although many of the far-right parties of Europe shared the goal of weakening the European Union, the clash on other pressing issues. In Italy, for instance, Salvini thought anti-immigration has has through anti-immigration, has advocated for the relocation of asylum seekers across the EU. Hungary's Viktor Orbán, has pushed to close the borders. So,
How many times can they say far right in one article?
they can say it. Let me check. They can say it a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
10 or 11 times. Yeah.
That's search engine optimization right there.
Yeah. They're really going for those views there, aren't they?
Oh, I wonder. Can you call it digital digital virtue signaling? Let's coin that term.
Maybe. But here we do have the election results here from news.com. Far right, yet again, parties top the votes in Italy, France, Britain, and Poland. The highest vote turnout in 20 years. Leaders row a wave of anger at the EU officials over immigration and economic policies. However, provisional results show that there is little change overall the balance of power, with the Socialists, Greens, Liberals, and Conservatives maintaining a control of 506 over the 751 seats. So, like I say, here is the two seats side by side. You guys can see it on the screen. Yeah, European Direct, I think it was. Yeah, but I think the initials on it are different than what the actual name is. But anyway, here's the 2014 election here up the top, on the top right, and down the bottom is the pro-Brexit Parliament. So this is the one that was conducted just recently. Now, you can see that left wing has remained the same mostly. The Greens vote looks like it's gathered a little bit. Centre left and SD look like they've lost a little bit. There's also been a little bit of a change when it came to, for example, I think that's the Romanian party. The Liberals, ALDE, Macron's Resistance and stuff like that, they've gained seats. The centre right, which is the EPP, which I think is actually, I think that's Le Pen's party actually. That looks like it has actually gained a little bit or stayed the same maybe. The National Conservative looks like it's stayed roughly the same, maybe gained a little bit. Where did we get up to? The unaffiliated Italian M5S and allies, they look like they've gained. Eurosceptics hasn't got any. Unaffiliated British Brexit Party obviously has gained seats because it's new. Right wing, ENF and EAPN. Maybe that's her party. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check it out. They look like they've gained seats, and also the NI, the Nazis, Satirist Community, Communist Volta, Europa, Croatia, DUP, UK. They look like they've actually lost some seats. So, yeah.
Yeah, Nazis don't tend to actually get any attention. No, real Nazis don't. Yeah.
No. I'm surprised that actually... Well, why are they lumping the Nazis, the satirist, the communist... Well, okay, that kind of makes sense actually, now you think about it, I suppose. I was going to say why they're lumping them all together. But yeah. So they've gone from 15 down to 12. They had a change of 3. Right wing, the ENF and the EAPN, they went from 37 to 77. British Party, which is obviously new, gained 29. Eurosceptic Populist EFDD, they lost all their seats. They had 48. They lost. The Italian M5S and allies, they had no seats. They picked up 15. National Conservatives lost 9. The centre right, the EPP party, they actually went from 121 down to 169, so they lost 52. So there seems to be a very big shift away from the EU parties, which is basically everything that you can take away from this. A lot of the EU parties are sort of starting to lose ground, and things like Le Pen, Brexit. Look, a lot of these places are picking up seats. It's going to make it interesting.
It's good. And it is a good thing. The EU needs to get a wake-up call.
Well, I reckon dissolve the EU, but anyway, that's me.
Hey, look, there's two ways around it, I guess. You could see the EU maybe get a wake-up call and actually treat the member states with respect and do what they were supposed to be in the beginning. But honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're capable of that.
It's not
There's
just
a lot of reasons why that is. Ideological reasons, primarily.
Yeah, but it's not just that, right? But at the end of the day, also having one world government own or run everything is, even just as an oversight to me, that is scary. That is really some scary shit.
Oh, I understand. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm generally against it. I'm like, yeah, this kind of, gets me a little nervous. So, but anyway. That's probably it for the Brexit and the sort of the EU election results. What are your thoughts? Happy, sad? What are your thoughts? I know there's a lot to break down on that.
Well, it would have been nice to see if Saigon won. I was really wishing he'd win, actually.
Tommy Robinson, one we didn't talk about. He also did not win, but he did. But he did get the most amount of votes any independent has ever got.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Considering the fact that he had no social media presence, or very little social media presence, obviously Rebel Media, Ezra Levance, and Tommy and all that, they're saying that the social media played a part. I would agree with, to a certain point. The social media ban did obviously go through and make a difference. I didn't see a lot of people report on the stuff that was happening with Tommy Robinson. We covered it a little bit, but I think Rebel Media was the people that mostly talked about it. I did not see a lot of the other people, the other YouTubers, talking about it. I don't know. Do you reckon the social media stopped Tommy Robinson, or?
No, I don't think. See, the thing is, I knew he was going to get a ton of votes, and obviously he has gotten a ton of votes. But you got to remember that as much as we think that there's big crowds and big support behind things, I don't know. I thought it would have been better, like more people, but I'm starting to wonder. Either two things happened here. The election was rigged, which is a big claim, and I'm not going to back that up. I can't. Or we think there is way more support out there for things than there really is, because we live on an internet bubble.
Yeah, I was going to say our own echo chambers of sorts, our online chambers of sorts.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Don't take that as a black pill. It's not.
No.
There could be other reasons. We know that the Post was doing something illegal. We heard about that.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
Janet saying in chat, Western Churchill had to fall many times before he became PM. the horse and ride. It's not over. Love Tommy. Loves to. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. As it's time to take his name back to. Come on, Steph. Yeah. All right. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, I would agree with that. Look, I don't think this is the end. I don't think this is the end for Tom. Tommy Robinson has literally said it's not the end for him. It's weird now that I've mentioned his name. My stream seems to keep wanting to buffer. But yeah, he's saying that at the moment that this is not the end. We are going to keep going. We're going to keep fighting. So that he's actually said that. I would agree. I would say that, look, at the end of the day, I do wonder if that the EU Parliament, or sort of not the EU, sorry, the establishment has gone through and sabotaged the UK party, Tommy Robinson's party, by putting up Nigel Farage. We really didn't see the media hate campaign go against Nigel Farage.
That's true. That's true. That's what. Yes, and I think that calling it Brexit party, I think was big on that. I'm actually thinking that there is a bit of a conspiracy around that. The media and Nigel Farage, absolutely.
Because he is in the media. He is a radio host.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like, he used to do his own radio talk show.
Yeah.
Like, and let's face it, last time he won the Brexit vote, the UKIP sort of thing, there were people claiming that he didn't go to the meetings, he didn't go to the UK meetings, he was sort of a bit of a lame duck sort of thing. It'll be interesting to see what happens now with him winning. Is he actually going to stand up, or is it going to be a case of yet again him seemingly winning the vote away from everybody else, and then basically not doing anything with it? If that happens again,
gets the noggin jogging.
Sorry,
gets the noggin jogging.
It does. If it happens again, then maybe we have a right to question this. Maybe we should start looking into whether he is paid opposition. If he's constantly running for elections when these big elections come up, and then he doesn't actually do anything with the power he gains, and he just lets things continue the way they are, that to me is opposition.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah, let's investigate. We really, you know what? Maybe we should look into this more, or someone should, maybe sooner rather than later, because aren't we running out of time too? Like, I don't want to sound alarmist, but I mean, when it comes to changing the direction that things are going, politics-wise and everything, we really are running out of time.
True. I'm just turning you down a little bit because it's coming into the red frequently. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it is something that we can obviously go through and actually look into. If anybody does have any information regarding this, please feel free to get in contact with me. My DMs are open to everybody. If you have any evidence of that, I'll be interested to have a look at it and see if it's legit. But apart from that, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on these EU elections? Do you think this is a swing away from the EU? Do you think that this is going to help any? Do you think that these are going to be disruptive forces when it comes to the EU election? Do you think at the end of the day it was a little bit disappointing to see people like Sargon and whatnot lose? Do you think this is only the beginning? Let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Alright, do you want to talk about the hashtag for the alt-right, what they're doing? Oh, sorry, from 4chan, sorry.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Alright, do you have an article or something like that you want to put on screen, or is it just...
No, unfortunately I don't.
No, it's right.
Yeah, I only heard it from YouTube, a YouTube video.
Alright, hey, I just had an ad come up on my video. Well, I'll be surprised. Alright. I just had an ad come up on my video. Alright, okay, so if you want to talk about this, I can actually go and also get a drink, but I will bring up the hashtag on the screen for Twitter.
Oh, did you find any article or anything for it? Or...
I found a whole bunch of Twitters.
There's not a lot to say, really. There's not a lot to say. 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 Except that, well, there was an article in the mainstream. We probably could go through that. But off the cuff, I think I'd struggle.
Alright. Yes.
Drop it in the live show text.
So it's actually coming up. The mainstream media is running with the tag fashtag.
Fashtag.
Fashtag. Alright.
That is classic.
Yeah. The newly oh my god, they're really doing this, aren't they? Uncovered alt right hate symbol. Oh my god, I can't believe they're actually running with this. Alright. It's funny because a lot of these articles,
Yeah.
they sort of realised it's 4chan. So the Daily Dot has an article, and Hoax Alert has also gone through and put up a story. So Hoax Alert is trying to ruin 4chan's fun. I'll put a link to this in Discord.
Fair enough.
There you go. It's in live show text.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Yeah, I didn't know which article you want to go for, so this is a good one.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I might quickly grab a drink if that's alright, man.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right. So, what's happening here is 4chan's new troll campaign aims to make the hashtag a white supremacist symbol. It's very similar to the OK hand thing that was going on a while back. So, members of the notorious internet forum 4chan, or as that some like to call it, Channel 4, have proposed a new troll campaign aimed at converting the hashtag into a white supremacist symbol. So, I think this is great, and it has to happen. In a post on the poll or politically incorrect message board, an anonymous user calls on his fellow forum frequenters to begin creating propaganda that incorporates the commonly used pound sign. We must start using pound to represent the swastika on memes and social media, the user states. The far-right campaign dubbed Bash the Hash sounds so good. It's like Bash the Fash. A play on the yeah, it is. Aims to remove the ability of sites like Twitter to use the popular symbol. It will be a perfect win-win situation the user adds. Either Twitter will have to accept blatant Nazism on its forums, or it will effectively have to find a way to get rid of the site's core mechanics. Bash the Hash will also force corporations to stop putting tags on every ad ever, according to the campaign leader. Although the idea was met with mixed reviews, a slew of campaign posters and memes began circulating on Twitter. The posts were reported to originate from sources such as Antifa, a far-left collective known for using direct action or violence against far-right groups. Now, this is interesting that they do actually write a far-left when talking about Antifa on the Daily Dot.
That's interesting.
So that's good. Yeah. So learn how to recognize the enemy. See, that's the thing. If you do turn the swastika around a bit,
It does.
and then just move the lines around a little bit, it does work. I think it's kind of hilarious. It's time we all learn who to fight and understand which symbols the alt-right uses. Antifa, Bash the Hash, love, not hate. Yeah. And the flags are actually really good too. I like the meme flags and everything. And oh boy, we're gonna start playing with numbers here. Hail Oh hell, yeah, I
Yeah.
won't say it. The other obvious way is by splitting the hashtag into two. Sorry, hang on, I skipped a bit here. So the hashtag was also equated to the swastika and other Nazi icons. It was even alleged to stand for that. Now,
Mm.
if you look at the numbers, they're playing around with it. So if you split the hashtag into two, producing two letters HH stands for that. In addition, the hashtag features 8 line poking out and 8 gaps, which is 88, stands for the same thing, which if you have the 14 and then you move across to somewhere, and I'm just putting words in the middle so that it doesn't pick it up, and then you have 88.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm working that, try not to get you toned down on the thing.
Banned.
Pretty funny to realize that Twitter and basically all of official media is built around a Nazi symbol. This is fantastic stuff.
Oh my god.
And see, if you go further down, if it's on the screen, don't worry, I won't say it.
No.
It became on the screen. Yeah, they don't have
Mm.
that. One user claiming to be a black female warned black sisters to be on the lookout for the dog whistles. So if you look here, you've got these various symbols, and see how they're connecting it and doing that. And then you've got your local, etc.
Mm.
The working class resistance to all forms of fascism. This one is one of my favorites. Red Antifa. That's definitely one of my favorite photos there. If you can bring it up, maybe for more for people to see, because I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then you got a guy holding up the flag, and you see what they've done there with the red and black. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Is that holding up a flag? You mean like a sign? Is he holding up?
Yeah, so it looks like a black and white photo, and the guy's holding up the flag, and it's got the red and that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think that's another good one too.
Yeah.
Be careful with the next one. I don't know. Yeah, don't say anything on that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. The thing's so cool.
They've been busy.
Oh, they have absolutely. Yeah. So I'll read the last bit of the story if you want.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, alright. In perhaps the most successful campaign, 4chan was seemingly able to convince countless people that the OK hand gesture was actually a secret white supremacist signal, and it worked. It became so prominent that the ADL, one of the country's oldest civil rights organizations, with a statement calling on individuals to consider the context in which the hand gesture is used. Has the simple thumb and forefinger OK hand gesture become a common white supremacist hand sign? The group asked. Not quite, but it has become a popular gesture used by people across several segments of the right and the far right, okay, including some actual white supremacists who generally use it to trigger reactions or what they would describe as trolling the libs. Now, there is actually a story that apparently a school spent a great deal of money to redo yearbooks because a bunch of the students were trolling with the OK symbol.
Yeah, we covered this. I think it was on Friday. They spent over $50,000 in reprinting the books because of all these cases of these kids doing the OK symbol. Also, you got to also remember too that there was the sports stadium for. Oh, I can't remember who it was now. One of the sports stadium that banned someone from the stadium because he did the OK symbol live on air behind the presenter. So there has been, and I've still got ads. I'm surprised. There has been a few cases where obviously people have gone through and actually got like the OK symbol and have done it. And look, it's mainstream media is literally running with this whole it's okay, it's like okay, and it's okay to be white, and it's so good on multiple layers. But this hashtag, I don't know, do you think it's going to be successful or not, or do you think the media is going to be aware of it, or
they're running with it to some degree. I mean, they're reporting on it. Maybe as to tell us that it's not. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean,
well, to give you an idea,
I mean, there's Yeah.
The hoax alert lead stories has come up saying fake news. The hashtag sign is not an alt-right or far-right symbol known as the hashtag. In the venerable pound sign, or is known as the hashtag, is now an alt-right or far-right symbol. No, that's not true. Pranksters from an online message board, 4chan, have started a campaign to spread across the message, but it's all a big joke aimed at undermining media credibility.
Yeah, there is that. The one thing is that obviously we've seen that the mainstream media is losing a lot of its ability to get the messages out. People aren't reading them very much, and everyone's on Twitter. So it could have an effect in the sense that people on Twitter are going to believe it and then never see the mainstream media articles saying, "Hey, stop that." Maybe that would help.
And so this is about the yearbooks that were reprinted due to the okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So like I say, yeah, it's hard for us too, because at the end of the day, we want 4chan to be successful with this. Like, I'm cheering 4chan. I'm cheering you guys on. Like, I'm thinking about retrending or reposting a couple of these little hashtag memes here. But it makes our job hard, because we got to report on the news, and we're not going to lie about it. So it's like, do we report on it and be completely honest, which is what we want to do, and say, no, it's 4chan trolling, and also counteracting the narrative that we're secretly trying to push.
Well, you don't have to worry that much. You don't have much of an audience. It's all good.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to go play in traffic. But anyway. But guys, I don't know.
I'm so mean.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're fired. Trump, you're fired. But at the end of the day, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below regarding 4chan trolling. Do you think that the hashtag bash the hash is going to work? Do you think at the end of the day that it's going to be popular? Do you think that they're going to get it just like the okay hand symbol? Or do you think at the end of the day that the media has learnt from the okay hand symbol? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright, let's talk about Memorial Day while we're at it. Alright, so Memorial Day, guys. It was obviously over the weekend. I believe it is still going in the US for some of our people. Trip is saying in chat that it's a holiday here, so it's still Memorial Day over in the US. Obviously, people like, for example, NBC News. 5 courageous women who died in service. Look, at the end of the day, I like the fact that they're obviously going through and recognizing courageous women that have died. I like that. But does it have to be just women? Like,
no.
What? Yeah. Like, I don't want to take anything away from these women who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and don't take it that way, guys. But at the end of the day, where's the 5 men? Where's the 5 courageous men who have died in service? Why does it have to be just one or the other? Mainstream media, and that's what bugged me about this. But we'll come back to this article.
Face it, you are a misogynist. Just admit it.
Yeah, probably. I did post something on, I think it was on Twitter the other day, saying, it was on Twitter. I wrote on Twitter, why is it that lesbians will get, like, ooh, penises, for example, but will then spend time doing each other with phallus-shaped objects? I think I actually wrote at the end of the post, are they sexually confused? Veteran groups, me on Twitter gets a little spicy sometimes. Veteran groups, AM vets fight to get the POW flag up at every Capitol Hill office. So Army veterans and veteran services organisations and non-profits is fighting to get the POW MIA flag back up in front of every office on Capitol Hill. The flags, which aim to be reminders of Americans of prisoners of war and those missing in action, have started coming down over the past several years, the group said. The trend specifically caught the attention of the Democratic members of Congress, took the flags down so that they could put up a pastel flag to recognize Transgender Visibility Week earlier this year. The group said Capitol Hill police noticed them after they noticed the flags coming down and started and staying down, and that's when the group got involved. Trev, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, I think you actually liked it or something. I think Twitter. At the end of the day, considering that this is supposable Memorial Weekend, I reckon all the flags should be up regardless. I think that the POW and the MIA flags should be up regardless. Yeah, Eric is agreeing they are confused. But at the end of the day, especially over this weekend, I think those flags should be flying. I think it's quite disgusting that they would actually take down those POWs and MIA flags and put up transgender flags. Like, you know, like I get what they're coming at. They're saying that this is the sacrifice and blah blah blah. Like, bitch, please, like, go to war. Go and fight in a war. Then, you know, get kidnapped or get tortured in a prisoner of war camp or whatever it may be. Then you can put up your flag. Like, you're trying to conflate the two together, and that is just absolutely disgusting. So obviously the Memorial 5-Day Courageous Women who died in service. They talked about retired Brigadier General Carol Eggart. They've talked about a painting of U.S. Army Specialist Laurie Paswell. First Lieutenant Ashley White. You know, like I say, there's, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Memorial Day. I think it's disgusting that they would take down the POW camps flags.
Yeah, what they should be doing is honoring all soldiers, regardless of, you know, all these innumerable characteristics.
Yeah. And this is something I just said on Twitter earlier this morning. I turned around and, you know, they were talking about the Democrats and stuff like that. And I turned around and they're talking about the Democrats going to these memorial services and paying their respects. And my response was how the hell do these Democrats get off going and paying respects to soldiers when they supposedly want to defund law enforcement? They want to remove ICE. They want to go through and remove all these policing services and army and law enforcement services, but then we'll sit there over the weekend and virtual signal about Memorial Day. Like, yeah. Anyway. But guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Sounds like your headset dropped out.
What? No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. It sounds different. Did you switch, did you?
Yeah, I switched.
Yeah, no worries. Alright, guys. Let's start with Build the Wall.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Build it.
Actually, executive video. We Built the Wall completes first half mile of the US border wall in 4 days from private donations. So, for months in liberal media mocked We Build the Wall, founders and organiser Brian Kefler and his plan to use private donors to help build the much-needed security wall between the US and Mexico. Brian raised over $20 million in private donations from over 260,000 individuals to build a border wall on the US southern Mexico border. In January, Brian announced the We Build the Wall leadership board that includes Eric Prince, Chris Kobush, Angel Mary Ann Mendez, Sheriff David Clark, and former Representative Tom Terrain, and others. I'm probably getting some of those names wrong, so forgive me. But at the end of the day, over the weekend, they've actually put out a video. You can donate to help this incredible organisation here. Obviously, we'll put a link in the chat for that, if you guys do want to help. But this Memorial Day, the We Build the Wall organisation built their first half of the mile of the border wall near El Pasto. And we have video, and we're going to play that for you. It goes for about a minute. Like the music, like the idea. Trip says in chat, seriously, they built part of the wall with donations? I thought that was virtual signaling in a good way, raising the money. No, they actually built it. So, yeah, interesting. Was this also part of the Kickstarter that went through? And they were talking about building the wall with the Kickstarter? Is that part of the money? They raised $5 million from that as well, wasn't it? I think.
Just wondering, how did they get approval to build it? Like, did the councils allow it or something?
Well, I think Trump has actually said that if they raised the money, they could build it. So what they've probably done is they've probably gone through and said to Trump, we got $20 million. We want to help start building the wall. And Trump basically said, okay, well, if you want to build it in this area, this is the part that needs to be built. They probably even got some of Trump's team down there and said, yep, build the wall along here.
Oh, yeah, because Trump was already approving the areas to build. He probably just went, oh, just do it by contractor, I guess. That's interesting. It actually happened.
Yeah, they actually built it.
So cool. A lot of Kickstarters tend not to be real, but this is amazing. This one was real.
Yeah. So the section of the wall we built focused on a close a half a mile gap that existed for years between the end of the El Paso, Texas border and the Mount Crisky Ray. The gap across the Mexican Gulf of Juicy, currently the El Paso sector of the second busiest sector in the terms of the family apprehensions this financial year. Those categories now make up the majority of the Border Patrol apprehensions. So there was literally a gap in the wall that had been there for a while that they closed. There is another video here, which goes for 2 minutes 48. We'll play that for you guys.
Here we are, morning of day 2 on project number 1 of We Build the Wall, Sunland Park, New Mexico. Yesterday, we completed the first section. This was done relatively late at night. Started putting the pieces in place at 5 p.m. Concrete came in at about 8 or 9 p.m. and then it hardened within 2 hours. Now we're morning of day 2. If you look here, you've got the rigs of Fisher Industries coming in. They're basically modified giant track hose, and they've got his patented holder bringing each section of wall up. Each section is 5 8-foot panels, so that's 40 foot per section. This pour, this we call it a pour because you put them all in place. The rigs hold them in place. This pour, I believe, is going to involve 6 rigs, so it'll be 240 foot of wall put in, basically in one session here. So they're coming slowly up the incline here, and they're gonna put them in place right here, the next section up from where we are. And this is all a moderate grade, but of course it was too much grade for the Army Corps of Engineers to do. They said you couldn't build anywhere on this site because it's too much mountain. And that's what it used to look like. Look at the Mexican side there. There were mountains like that right here where I'm standing, but Tommy's rigs came in and made these piles of rocks. And we're using those rocks to grade things and make a much more aesthetic.
Is that a cartel path right there?
Okay, no, the cartel paths are up even higher. So our wall is going to go up 350 feet, all the way up to where the very steep gray rock is up there. The cartel paths there's 3 of them, and they're up in the sort of reddish rock and then the lower tier of the gray rock, and they're very well worn. If you weren't so high up in the mountain, your grandmother could walk on them without tripping. There's no rocks in the paths. There's so much foot traffic on those. Those are the drug smuggling paths. So they smuggle the people down here in the valley. On the very flat, they pull up in the parking lot right there where their car is coming in. That's the Mexican side. They unload their human cargo there. The people take 5 steps and they're in the United States of America. They can either hop into a car or just keep on walking. All of that comes to an end with We Build the Wall. So there you have it. Day 2 off to a great start. If all goes well, we may get 1,000 feet of wall put in today, a Saturday. We work on weekends and We Build the Wall.
So yeah, he's just talking about the wall there. Basically going through, showing what they're doing, and look, they're doing a good job. Full credit to them, doing what they did. They got the money, they built the wall. Yeah, looks like it's a pretty, like they're saying that the traffic in those hills is pretty well worn for the trafficking and stuff like that. So yeah, at the end of the day, good on them for doing it, I suppose. Money well spent, I suppose. I don't know. Thoughts, opinions? You there? Have I lost my co-host, have I? Yep, okay. But yeah, apart from that, guys, yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Kind of support it, to be honest. Alright, chat, speaking of walls, I watched Lauren Southern's Borderless last night. Yeah, I watched it too. Trip, I had to watch the second video because I didn't get notified about the first one, and I couldn't find the first one going up. We weren't going to talk about that today. We still might. We'll see how much time we got left. We're still, yeah, there's not a lot, so we might get through it. Alright. Obviously heading back and talking about the Memorial Day. Riding with Special Forces, Brotherhood Microsoft Group. Special Forces, past and present, came to Washington, D.C. on Sunday to participate in the annual Rolling Thunder Ride, where thousands of motorcycle rides to Capitol Hill on honor take place to the prisoners of war and those missing in action. This is obviously a part of the Memorial Day sort of thing. So, yeah. Alright. I watched it on BitChute. Okay. I think it's still on YouTube. I don't think they've taken down the second video yet, but it is up in several places. It's really good. It is a really good video, actually. She's done a very good job on it. Alright, so Bull gores Matador up the backside, leaving him with 10-inch wound in his rectum. We do have a video, and we are going to show you guys that now. It goes for about 15 seconds, so... You're joking, right? They removed that part. They removed that section that we wanted to see. Alright, here it is here. Here's a shot from the video. The Matador was gored up his backside by a bull, leaving him with a 10-inch wound to his rectum as the spectators screamed in horror. The French bullfighter, Jean Lille, was lifted off the ground for a few seconds as the bull drove its right horn into his butt. Blood covered the Matador's torn trouser leg after it went straight through his genital region. The Matador carried on despite suffering the painful 10-inch, 25-centimeter wound to his rectum and possibly fracturing his scrotum. The or structural spine. He later killed the bull and posed with its severed ear, which is, near or there, so. Mr. Len walked to the infirmary once he finished with the bull. He expected to make a full recovery. Doctor said he suffered a 25 centimeter wound in his rectum with an exit hole in the gluteus region. Footage shows the bull charging the matador's cape number of times after it had already been stabbed with the several barrettes. At one point, the bull made a number of close passes while Mr. Lin is on his knees at the crowd's delight. But moments later, the spectres screamed as the bull made yet another close pass and turned quickly. Mr. Lee appeared to be caught off guard, and the bull drives its right horn into the matador's bottom. Look, I don't like telling cultures what they can and can't do. I would personally not go and see a bullfight. I think it is kind of insane. It's cruel. Barbaric sport, yeah. I tend to, yeah. I don't like this sort of sport. I think it's just torture sort of thing for no apparent reason. If you want to eat the meat and everything like that and whatnot, then fine. Do it quickly and humanely. This just seems to be dragging it out. I'm generally against this sort of sport. But like I said, I don't want to go around telling people what they can and can't do. Personally, though, I'm not going to go and see it. So, yeah. President Trump joins First Lady Melania as he becomes the first foreign leader to meet Japan's Europe Nishuria, he's back, in a stunning ceremony at Tokyo's Imperium Place. President Donald Trump made history on Mondays at Japan's Imperium Place, where he became the first world leader to meet with the new emperor and the empress of Japan. Boy, he's short. But he is Japanese, so I'm not surprised. Like, even Melania Trump is taller than the Japanese guy.
Yeah, even the shortest, say, German woman is taller than a tall Japanese man. No, that's just the way things are. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Okay, let's talk about UFOs.
No, I meant to say that the other way around. The shortest German woman versus the tallest Japanese man. I meant to say that the other way around. That came out all funky.
Yeah, I've done some sort of... Yeah, I've got a bit of a headache today, so I've sort of stuffed a few things up too. Don't worry.
And me too. I've got a bit of a headache as well.
You want to come over and renovate my house? You can do the kitchen for me. Yeah, I'm still putting in my kitchen, so... It's all fun and games. But anyway, let's keep going.
Okay.
Alright, so US Navy pilot reportedly spots a UFO over the East Coast. So
Cool.
we're going to talk about aliens. Some US Navy pilots reported seeing unidentified flying objects while training over the East Coast in 2014, 2015. In interviews with the New York Times, according to the Times, multiple Navy pilots spotted strange objects with no visible engines reaching 30,000 feet and going hypersonic speeds. The Time reports includes a minute-long video of two encounters Navy pilots allegedly had an unexplained aerial phenomena. In the video, which include visual radar and voice recordings, pilots cannot distinguish what is seen on their radar screens. At one point, one of the pilots says in amazement, "Look at that thing, it's rotating." These things would be out there all day, Mr. Lays, an F-18 Super Hornet pilot and 10-year Navy vet, told the Times. Keeping an aircraft in the air requires a significant amount of energy. With the speeds we are observing, 12 hours in the air is 11 hours longer than we'd expect. So, Josh Gardner, a Navy spokesman, told the newspaper that the US Navy doesn't have all the answers for observations made by Lieutenant Greaves and others. There were a number of different reports. Greaves said some cases could have been commercial drones, but in other cases we don't know who's doing this. We don't have enough data to track this, so the intent of the message to the fleet is to provide updated guidance on reporting procedures for suspected intrusion into our airspace. According to the New York Times, the Navy recently set out new classified guidance for how to report unexplained aerial phenomenon. According to the report, pilots who report the aerial phenomenon speculated that the objects were part of some classified and extremely advanced drone program. In other instances, one of the pilots told Lieutenant Greaves that he almost hit one of those things, and they described it as like a sphere encasing a cube. Lieutenant Greaves and his fellow pilots told the newspaper that the video shows the objects accelerating to hyperspeed, making sudden stops and instantaneous turns, something beyond physical limits of a human crew. CBS News had previously reported on a little-known Pentagon program with a budget of about $22 million, one that investigated flying objects before the Defense Department ended in 2012. While the Defense Department says it ended at the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program in 2012 over funding issues, a Pentagon spokesman said the DoD takes seriously all threats and potential threats of our people, our assets, our mission, and takes action whenever credible information is developed. Last year, 2 airline pilots claimed an unidentified flying object flew over their planes at an altitude of 30,000 feet in Arizona. According to the radio logs, 2 separate pilots of a Learjet operated by Phoenix Air and an American Airlines flight saw the object flying the opposite direction of the direction of the planes. So, we do have that video. We might play that for you guys now. Okay, that's not the video we want. Let's see if we refresh the page. Here it is here.
It was revealed that the Department of Defense ran a $22 million effort to document and research UFOs. But is the Pentagon sitting on a trove of extraterrestrial evidence, or is this just the latest fuel for conspiracy theorists? UFO researcher and historian Richard Dolan joins us to deliver some insight into the government's so-called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Richard, thank you so much for being with us. Now, for so long, the government has denied the existence of alien life, but now it seems they could be sitting on some evidence of alien life. So what can you tell us about this now defunct Pentagon program, and does it lend any credibility to the possible existence of alien life?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, Paula. I think this is a very interesting development that's happened in this last month. It is true that the United States government for many years has completely denied any overt interest in what we would call UFOs. On the other hand, that's always been contradicted by a large body of declassified evidence that has come out by bits and bits since the 1970s through the Freedom of Information Act, which have, in many cases, shown that there have been lots and lots of military encounters with highly unconventional objects that just defy any kind of normal explanation. So this is a phenomenon that they know about. They just don't like talking about it because I don't think that they either don't have full answers and know what to tell us, or maybe they do have answers and they'd rather not tell us as well. This new program is interesting because it is an acknowledgement by the Pentagon itself, after investigation by New York Times journalists, of a program to study UFOs. And this goes right up into our own century. It was only shut down a few years ago. And they've had some very, very unusual cases that they, again, cannot explain. Just as in the 1950s and 60s, so too in the 21st century.
Unusual and fascinating. Now, much of the funding went to a billionaire friend of former Senator Harry Reid, Robert Bigelow. His company, Bigelow Aerospace, claims it recovered materials from, quote, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now, what can you tell us about Bigelow Aerospace and what it actually found?
Well, I'm very glad you're asking this question. It's an unusual one, and I'm not hearing it asked anywhere else in the media. But this was one of the little bombshells that came out in the New York Times piece a couple of weeks ago, that objects that were recovered from these encounters, or somehow UFOs have been recovered and studied. This is a claim that's been going for years and years and years, and the government would blandly just say, no, that's never happened, never happened. And suddenly now, boom, here's the acknowledgement that they've been doing it. What nobody knows, or at least what I don't know, is what Bigelow Aerospace has determined what these objects are. But they're a major company. Robert Bigelow has run this company for many, many years. He's been a defense contractor for a long time. He's clearly very well connected, and has personally indicated a strong interest in UFOs for a long, long time.
Now, one of the highlights of this recent fervor is footage from a Navy F-18 showing what has been described as, quote, aircraft surrounded by a glowing aura traveling at a high speed and rotating as it moves. Now, some could argue that this is just the latest in a series of these dubious UFO sightings. But in your expert opinion, is there anything different about this specific account?
Yes, I think it's very interesting. And look, when you look at some of these UFO videos on their own without context, it's easy to be dismissive of them and say, oh, well, that doesn't prove anything. But we have to look at everything in context. And this video was released by the Navy in connection with an incredibly fascinating UFO encounter. The Navy had not a particular object for 2 weeks before they actually sent a couple of F-18A Hornets to intercept. Those are top-of-the-line fighter jets, by the way, and who were completely outclassed by this object that people are able to see on video here. So it's quite interesting. That object had been tracked at an altitude of 80,000 feet, which is very high, dropping down to 20,000 feet, apparently quite easily, and then was seen either at the water level or below the water, making maneuvers that I think the pilot of the F-18A said, basically, I don't know what that is, but I want to fly it.
Wow. Richard Dolan, thank you so much for joining us to share your expertise on this fascinating subject. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So look, yeah, very interesting. We knew about this declassified information already. I think we've also reported on that in the past. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's interesting stuff. I do find it very interesting that the US government is like, no, there's no such thing as aliens. Oh, by the way, we've secretly been spying and studying aliens for the past God knows how many years. But don't worry, that program has since been declassified because, we've never lied to you about this stuff in the past, right? Personally,
Yeah.
I think they're still researching aliens. I think they're just like, oh wait, there's too much heat on this particular project, so we'll just claim it shut down and we'll just start it up and we'll move everybody to the new project.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned about the whole aliens thing.
You're talking about the whole
disclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole disclosure thing. I'm a little worried that they might be setting up the populace for a hoax.
Yeah, so there is a common theory, or a theory at least anyway, I'll say that much, where people believe that the government will actually use a false flag like UFOs to bring in some sort of authoritarian state or the New World Order or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the New World Order, yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I have heard that theory. It is possible, I suppose. I think it really does depend on, for example, if they come here to attack or if they come here to come peacefully. I don't know. But I don't know, guys. Let's know what you think in the comment section below regarding this new theory, or regarding this theory around the New World Order and aliens attacking, or aliens at least. And also let us know what you think about aliens. Do you think they're real? Do you think this is all fake news? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright. Romania's, we've only got a little bit left. Do you want to cover the Juliet Gets Woke ad? It's been out for a while.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. All right. We'll cover this. We'll talk about this quickly. We probably won't spend a lot of time talking about the Gillette ad, but guys, because it is pretty old news. But Gillette gets woke, celebrates dad teaching transgender son to shave. So Gillette's latest advertisement sympathetically shows a woman transitioning to a man. Sorry, with the help of male shaving products. The risky ad echoes a feminist campaign to blur the biological difference between men and women by suggesting that women can become men with the help of some Gillette shaving products. The main character says, "Growing up, I was always trying to figure out what kind of man I wanted to become. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of man that I know I want to become. I'm glad that I'm at this point where I'm able to shave. I'm at the point where in my manhood where I'm able to actually happy. It's not just giving myself transitioning, it's giving everybody around me transitioning." Oh my god. The ad fades out, showing a corporate endorsement of the transgender claim. Whatever, whenever, however it happens is your first shave special. That's alright, Ellen. The show will be up on VOD, and also a lot of these segments are going to be uploaded today as well, so no big deal. Ellen's just saying in chat, I've just started watching. That's alright.
Man, that ad is awful. Oh boy.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, and I think there was someone else that said this too, so I'm going to still quote, if it had just been this shave, I think it would have been bad. This shave. If it had just been this ad, it would have been bad enough. But then run this ad right after their other Get Woke, Go Broke ad of, like, you know, the toxic masculinity and everything like that. I think it's just them doubling down on the social justice warrior BS. I don't think this is going to end like they want to.
Yeah, I think Gillette, this is the second time they've done something like this. I think it might be time to call it. Gillette's gone.
Yeah, I haven't bought any of their shaving products.
No, me neither. I don't even shave that often, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll look into Chic or something.
Yeah, well, that's actually, yeah, I was down doing the shopping, and I normally buy Gillette razors, and I went to grab one just as like a habit sort of thing, and I thought, nah, stuff it. So I grabbed a Chic. Shellac, however it's pronounced. And I just grabbed that, and I just went and grabbed that instead. Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, Gillette, you're not the only shaving product out there. You do not get the right. Well, you've got the right, I suppose, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be forced to buy your products because you're the only company out there. This is something where people will be voting with their money. They will be turning around saying, I am sick of this crap. I am sick of this social justice warrior bullshit. It's in everything. It's in movies.
Yeah, I want it out of everything. I want it out.
Yeah. It's gaming, movies, Hollywood, everything. You can't even watch a TV ad now without being social justice warrior rammed down your throat. But anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, Romania's most powerful man is sent to prison for corruption. So Romania's most powerful politician, Liv Devenia, I'm not mispronouncing, was ordered on Monday to begin serving a 3.5 years prison sentence for abuse of power, upending the political order in the East European country, and handing a victory to those who view the corruption as the chief threat to the health of the nation. The ruling by the Romania Supreme Court, which declined to revisit the sentence, handed down by a lower court in June 2018, is not subject to appeal. It came one day after Mr. Giaccani's party, the Social Democrats, were handed a stunning rebirth in the election for the European Parliament. So the Social Democrats received just 23% of the votes, down significantly from 46% as they received the latest national parliamentary elections in December 2016. So I don't know. I always get worried when I hear about, politicians being corrupt and stuff like that. Are they corrupt? Sure. Yeah, sure they are. But I also do wonder how much of it is, like, especially from the New York Times, I wonder how much is, like, bullshit. I wonder if this guy's been set up. I don't know. I really want to look into it. I have not seen Captain Marvel yet. No, Ellen. I have refused to watch it. I haven't even socially acquired it, so to speak, or watched it on Netflix or anything yet.
Well, it's not on Netflix, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. See, yeah, this is how high on the priority list it is for me. To be honest, fixing my kitchen is more of a priority than Captain Marvel at the moment, so I'm not even interested in Captain Marvel. Although there has been a clip that came out regarding Captain Marvel. It was a part of an extended clip that was removed from the movie. Did you see it?
Yes. I have seen that. It's to do with her basically hurting somebody and using her power in a way that is not conducive to a superhero.
Yeah, people are actually making the case that she's actually being termed. She's actually not a superhero. That she's actually
I'm aware of it.
a supervillain. Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, people are actually making. Yeah, sorry. People are making the claim that she's actually a villain, not a hero. Let me see if I can find the clip, and I'll play it for the guys in chat.
Well, I mean, fair enough. Like, what she did is villain. Yeah.
It was a few days ago I tweeted about it. I don't think it was that far back. Might don't be tweets and replies, maybe. Yeah, I have also watched Borderless too, by the way, guys. It's actually really,
it was pretty good.
Really good show, actually. So I was also going to talk about this Fast Painter too one day. Might make a separate story about that. No, I can't find it at the moment. There's a clip, and basically what happens is she comes in. It's actually funny because it looks like it's been deleted. Jesus Christ, fucking censorship! It's ridiculous.
It might have been deleted too because it could have been leaked.
Maybe.
Yeah, like unauthorized leak, which that basically makes it piracy. However, at the end of the day, it's great that we all know about it. I think that was the point.
Yeah, the fact is that
Whoever did it, thanks.
Tripper's right in chat. What she did was there's a guy, right, and she's sitting there and she's standing there and she's reading a map, right, obviously trying to find out where to go. And the guy pulls in on a bike, and he goes like he negs it. He says like, "Hey, good scuba gear or good scuba suit or whatever it was." Right? It's just a neg. Disney deleted it. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. He says, good scuba set, or good scuba gear. And she turns around and she sort of screws her nose up and flicks the map up and acts real stuck up and everything like that. Anyway, he then goes through and he comes up and he pulls the map down and he says, "Do you want a ride?" And he offers her a ride or something like that. And she ends up saying, and she puts the map back up or whatever. And he pulls the map down again. He says, "I'm offering you a ride." She goes, "Well, what do you want?" And he goes, "Oh, thank you. I'm offering you a ride." And she goes, "How about a handshake?" And she goes to shake his hand, and she sends like an electrical current or whatever into his hand. And she says, "Give me your jacket, your bike, and your keys, or you lose your hand." and he gives her the stuff, and he's on his knees and everything, right? And she's sort of, like, yeah. And then she lets go, and he runs off. And then you see her driving the bike with his jacket and everything later. Is the next shot. Now, the interesting thing is that they went through and they removed the part where she attacks him. So, according to some people are saying in the movie, and I haven't seen it, so I'm just going by what other people have said, is that in the movie, you see her there with the map, and then later you see her driving the bike with the jacket. There was sort of that part where she attacks him has been cut out of the movie when it was at the cinemas. And it does make you wonder if they cut it because they're like, oh, this is going to be a little bit too offensive. This is going to be a little bit too...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because they might have originally thought, oh, Terminator did it. So, whatever. Yeah, but Terminator was not a hero. I mean, he was, but he wasn't, know?
No. And also, Terminator did it
wasn't
to a guy that was in a
from-
bar. It was a dick in a bar. This guy...
And he attacked the Terminator first.
Yeah. This guy didn't attack her. He negged her a little bit, said, no scuba gear. No, scuba suit, I think it was. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't anything that, this is where I had a bit of a problem because Tim Pool, he turned around and said the guy was a jerk. And my response to Tim Pool was he a jerk though? I would not consider that being a jerk. Saying to a girl, nice scuba suit, and then offering her a ride, yeah, he's been masculine. Yeah, he's been confident. But as I said in the reply to Tim, I don't think this is him being a jerk. This is just him being a confident guy. Like Ellen, you're in chat. Ellen, sorry, you're in chat. Let me ask you, Ellen, if a guy came up to you riding a hog, said to you, "Nice scuba suit," then got off the bike and said to you, "Do you want to ride, miss?" Do you think that has been a jerk? Or do you think that has just been him being confident and whatnot?
Well, yeah, if he's like, because you can also take it two ways, like, a guy's ride chicks, i.e., doing the dirty. There's a bit of that in it. It's like an innuendo.
Oh, it's definitely lines from pickup culture.
Yeah, but it's really not jerky, I don't think.
No.
I think it's just funny.
Well, I'm just waiting to see. I'm waiting to see what Ellen says. See what she's in the chat. Trip says in chat, Tim Pools does a good job, but he's a bit of a flower. Yes, he's definitely
A bit of a flower.
Yes, definitely a bit of a flower. He needs to get a little bit of some
funny.
balls. Ellen says in chat, he wasn't a jerk, but she couldn't handle. But she couldn't handle it better. I think
She could have handled it better.
Yeah, I think what she means is that he's not a jerk, but she could have handled it better. Or he was a jerk. Yeah,
I think that's what she said. Yeah.
It's a little bit, yeah. But yeah, and I tell you now, I neg girls when I want to pick them up. It works. It really does work.
If it works, do it. Yeah.
And I know this is going to be put in the right-wing article, Watch About Me. But there's, for example, I was down the supermarket and there was some chick and she was mopping the floor. And I turned around and I said, look at you. Aren't you the perfect woman? I'll give them enough just to put that for a quote. But yeah, and look, she gave me a dirty look and obviously then a smile and then introduced herself to me. It freaking works. Like, could have handled it better, yeah. And it does work. Negging girls does work. It's the girls at work that I've co-workers and stuff like that. I've done it to them and just try it out sort of stuff, and it freaking works really well. I'm being back to being single again, guys. So I'm practicing my pickup culture again. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, she could have handled it better, but he wasn't a jerk in my opinion. Yeah, cool. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alyssa Milano is in the news again. John, I know it's just Alyssa. Can't you just go back to making fit movies that where you're topless and stuff again? Just we just want to look at you, darling. We don't want to hear you. Alyssa Milano rages John Violent. I'm really going to get that right-wing article. Watch, aren't I? John Violent, an F-list trying to stay relevant by praising Trump. Which is funny because I think she's an F-list trying to stay relevant by dissing Trump. But anyway. Left-wing actress Alyssa Milano slammed veteran actor John Violent's recent remarks praising President Donald Trump, calling the Academy Award-winning star an F-list actor trying to stay relevant. The self-awareness on these people is really, really low, isn't it? Like, this guy has, like, award-winning, Academy Award-winnings, right? It really does... How many awards does she won?
No idea.
Let's do a search, because I don't actually know.
I mean, I think she got a ton of them from Charmed, mostly.
Oh, wow,
But
really?
she was in Charmed, right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the right. Yeah. The right one.
Okay, so here's her list of awards and nominations. So... she's won the 2006, she won the Teen Choice Award for Charmed. 2005, she's won the Choice Kids Award for Charmed. For 2001, she won an Anne Award for Outstanding Individual, Lady and the Tramp. She won achievement for voice acting by female in Scampies and perform in animated feature production of Adventure. And that's really about it. Like, are you seriously? You're calling this guy an F list when you've won less awards than him? Is that what she's doing right now?
Looks like it.
Like, let's just compare. John, right? Let's go through and compare. Right, here's his page here, right? So that's hers. And this is his. Right, so he won an award nomination for Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Support Actor in a Drama Series. He's won a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor in a Series, Miniseries, or Promotion Picture, motion picture for TV. He's won a Razzie Award for the Worst Supporting Actor. He won that for National Book Treasure of Secrets. He won a Primetime Emmy.
Worst?
Yeah.
There's an award for worst? Oh my gosh.
Razzies. Yeah. He won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor. He's won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by Male Actor in a Miniseries. He's won a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting, obviously again for Sugar Babies. He won a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. He's won a Primetime Emmy Award for Uprising. He's won a Golden Globe Award for Rainmaker. Okay, and I'm just gonna. He's won a lot more than her. Let's just say that. Okay, like there's more, and I'm still haven't. He's got another Razzie Award. He's got another Razzie, which is obviously nothing because they're obviously bad. But Golden Globe. An Academy Award for Best Actor, Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in Deliverance. Like, this guy is more accredited than she is. Who do you think is the F list? Where's she won? Awards for Charmed, basically.
Yeah.
And
Seems like it. Just Charmed.
Like, I don't know, chat. Who do you think is the F actor here? Who do you think is the F class actor out of these two? Like, does Angelina Jolie's that's Angelina Jolie's dad, is it? So I'm saying it's Angelina Jolie's dad.
Oh, okay. I mean, it explains.
Yeah, father of actress
also.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. I think
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Mm.
Being that Angelina Jolie and her father are actually they're not F list.
Hmm. Anyway, I don't know, guys. Personally, I think this is a little bit of projection. I think at the end of the day, this guy's more credited than she is. I think if you're going to sit there, I think if you're going to sit there and claim that someone's an F list actor, I think maybe you need to look into your own awards or history. Just saying that. Maybe Alyssa. Like the only thing I know her from is Charmed and Embrace the Vampire, and there's a reason why I remember Embrace the Vampire.
Does she show some goods?
Oh yeah, the goods are on full display. I could not show that video on YouTube. I was young.
Embrace the Vampires, is you say?
Yeah. I think it was Embrace the Vampire, yeah. It's a sort of a flick that she made. She's always hanging around the supernatural sort of stuff, but yeah. But I don't know. Alright, let's jump into the next story. Lindsey Graham, Obama officials worried about being exposed by declassification. Should probably record this and put this up. I probably should have recorded that thing about Alyssa Milano too, but I didn't. Lindsey Graham.
They made a 2013. Is a 2013 one for Embrace the Vampire?
Is it?
Yeah, they did a remake. No, it's a remake, but with different people.
Oh, okay. I know hers was the good one.
Yeah, they went with someone called Sharon Hinendale, and she looks better than Alyssa Milano.
Hang on, guys. I'm going to check this out. So 1995 was the one I was talking about, the one with Alyssa Milano.
Yes. Yeah. There's a 2013 one as well.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, and she's hotter.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm getting both though.
Yeah, I was going to say I might have to watch that one later. All right, let's keep going with the news. All right. So, probably should start this recording again from the start. Lindsey Graham, Obama officials worried about being exposed by declassification. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham asserted Sunday that the former government officials opposing declassification of Russia probe documents are worried about being exposed. In an interview on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace, Graham also argued that Democrats are unconcerned with whether the FBI misled the Pfizer surveillance court in order to obtain obtain Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act against Trump and the campaign advisor Carter Page. So I want all the documents around the Pfizer warrant application released. I want to find out exactly what the counterintelligence operation began. Graham said, I think the transparency is good for the American people. Not one Democrat seems to care. I wish that some Democrats would come forward to find out if a Pfizer court was defrauded by the FBI and the Department of Justice. On Thursday, President Donald Trump granted William Barr the authority to declassify documents from the Russia probe. He's also instructed the heads of several federal agencies, including the CIA and FBI, to provide documents to Barr as a part of his review of the origins of investigations. I think they are worried. I think the reason why they don't want to talk about it is because at the end of the day, they are concerned. They are worried. So,
they should be.
Yeah. Tripper's asking in chat, a question. We'll talk about it in a sec after we've done this video. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it is. I think it's them worried that they're going to get arrested. And I think they should be concerned as well. So, yeah. Apart from that, thoughts and opinions?
Nah, that's pretty good. I think you covered it pretty well.
Yeah, no worries. Alright, Trip's asking in chat, is the new version got satanic symbols in it?
Oh, new version have what?
Satanic symbols. For Embrace the Vampire. The movie,
Oh,
new version.
I don't know. I haven't watched the new version.
Yeah. Ask him in
I didn't
ask him
I
in
didn't know
about 2
this
hours.
movie existed.
It does look like it. Like in the movie, you see like there's like blood on her and stuff like that, and there's a trailer and stuff. So yeah, there's like a whole bunch of maggots and stuff in a cup, and oh, she's walking around in underwear and a top.
Alright, come on, let's get back to the news.
Hang on, I'm getting distracted.
Yeah.
Alright. Whoa, okay. That kind of looks decent. I have to watch that one. Alright. Let's keep going. Alright, last story for the day, guys. This is going to get us demonetized if we already haven't. Male NCAA track star swamps competition after competing as female. An NCAA track star, Celie Chaffler, is racking up the records after recorded Franklin Pierce University in a women's college track, but the feature seems to be a little less impressive upon learning that it's only just last year Chaffler was competing as a man named Craig. He was also sold athletes in the men's division. He was also a solid athlete in the men's division as well. Franklin Pierce was Franklin Pierce was beside itself with joy that Chaffler was headed to the NCAA championships. Daily Wire reported. Chaffler has qualified in a pair of events as she will compete in the 200 meter dash and the 60 meter hurdles. The Franklin Pierce athlete department said on its website. The announcement added that Chaffler apparently has the fastest times of the year in the 200 meter dash, is at 24 seconds or 24.08 seconds, which is set at the Northeast 10 Conference Championships earlier this month. Her fastest times in the 60 meter hurdles is 8.33 seconds, which came in December. She is ranked 3rd in the country in hurdles and 7th in the 200 meter dash.
Nice.
I don't know. Men running in women's track field events.
Oh no, that's not nice. Oh,
No.
the scores are good. Pretty good scores. Very nice.
Well,
You
it
know?
makes you wonder if he's got an
Good for him.
advantage. She's got an advantage, maybe.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that he was literally only last year running as a male.
See, that's no good. I don't agree with that. I don't think that should be happening.
Look, at the end of the day, I get the fact. I get this is a very sticky situation, and I don't want to be that sort of person that says, you know, that trans need their own Olympics, because at the end of the day, then what are you going to do? Go through and make an Olympics for everybody? But
No, that's what they should do. They should make one for trans people, and then let the whole thing just balloon into insanity, and then everyone can start waking up to themselves.
true, yeah. Like I said, I don't think women should be competing against biological males. And at the end of the day, I don't like the fact that he is running under female banner. To me, like was literally male a year ago. Like, really? You're okay with this, you know? Like, not you, obviously, but this school. And this school seems to be virtually signaling, going, yay, look at our star! Yes, because he has a slight advantage. Is anybody surprised by this? Like, what's going to be the point of women going and competing in these events if they can't compete against this?
No, that won't be a point.
No.
And look, that's why just let it happen. Let this insanity go. Full ball. Hopefully, we can see some anti-insanity in the future. Accelerate this. Let these people just do it.
Yeah, I get the accelerationism argument, but at the end of the day, I think accelerationism only works when also people call it out as well. I think that people calling out this insanity will help wake up people when it comes to this insanity. So I'm not saying, yeah, you know what I mean. But that's what I say. Look, at the end of the day, I think that people need to be shown how nuts this actually is. And yeah, I'm saying, yeah, look, I get the acceleration argument, but I think that you do also need the people to call it out, because people do need to sort of be prodded to say, yes, this is insane, this is not good, as Trip says, Ellen says, sorry.
I'm pretty sure people will call it out. I don't think it's already happening. I mean, there is one, I think, was it deadlifting has done it? They've gone against this, so that's good.
Yeah, it
We're
does
seeing
make
some progress.
Does make you wonder if he switched over to the females because he's guaranteed or has a better chance of winning.
Yeah.
I couldn't compete against the males last year. I couldn't win, so I flick over to the females and I'm going to smash the records.
Yep, that's it.
I don't know. Guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, that's going to be the show basically today. Guys, if you haven't checked out Borderlands, please go do and watch it. It is on YouTube. It is completely free. It goes for an hour and a half. It's
borderless.
Borderlands
is a video game.
Yeah, sorry, borderless. It's been a long weekend and I'm tired and I've got a headache. But yeah, go watch Borderless by Lauren Southern. It is a really, really good show. I watched the whole hour and a half thing. Yeah.
They are censoring the crap out of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. How long have we been going for today?
I don't know. What they did is they deleted it initially.
We've been going for 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, if a video gets removed, that always has to come with a strike. That's just the way YouTube works.
Yeah.
But in this case, that's not what's happened. Someone over at YouTube just reached in and went, yoink!
Yeah, and not only that, but I didn't receive any notifications of the video going up, and I do have Lauren on bell notifications because future waifu. But at the end of the day, I never received notifications. She couldn't post anything on a community about it. People said they never got other notifications about it going up. We couldn't find it on a YouTube channel. Like, you couldn't search for it, from my understanding, on mobile devices at least. Like, they really did censor the shit out of it, and to the point where she had to re-upload a second version of it, which is what I was able to find. Now, to give you an idea, the Borderless is doing really well. So
yeah, it's doing really well.
Like she said, the Streisand effect is really in place. It's funny because I just typed in Borderless and I couldn't find it. Here it is. Here you had to type in Southern Borderless.
Yeah, if you the thing is it was actually there. So if you went to the videos tab, it wasn't there.
No.
But if you went to the playlist, it was. So if you had a direct link, basically what they did is that it was unlisted. Basically how it was sort of changed out. It was like in unlisted mode.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's terrible what they've done. I don't know.
So it's had 581,739 views. It's got 2.8k upvotes on Reddit. It's had 20 mentions on Twitter, and it's had 24k likes on Facebook. To give you an idea, like this has had 581,000 views in a couple of days. Why is this not trending? Oh wait, because it goes against the narrative. The thing is that also at the end of the day, it's interesting too because it does actually make. She walks back her views a little bit on this.
Yeah.
She turns around and she says that at the end of the day, it's not a case of migrants coming to the country as an invading force. A lot of them are coming just because they've been sold this dream that Europe is a far better place to go, and it does make you wonder who is selling the dream. Like, she sort of turns around and admits it's not so much their fault for coming. It's the NGOs who are making all this money, that's making this millions of dollars. Like, people were charged, $1,000 to $3,000 just to do a trip, just to come across, the Mediterranean and to get into Europe. You times that by 500 people a day, and that's a lot of money.
I actually sent it to my mother, who's hates Lauren Southern, and I actually had to I emailed it to her and said, "Hey, watch this. Honestly, it's really good, and you will like it." And she just emails back, and God, I have to give you this verbatim. It's holy crap, what she said about her. And where was it? Will you? No, hang on. Where it's from.
So while you're finding that, Philip, you're at the end of the show, buddy. We've actually already talked about all that, but the show will be up on live on demand pretty soon, so you'll be able to watch it from the start. But the EU election results we've already covered. Memorial Day we've already covered. UFOs were covered. We're just wrapping up now, and we're just talking about Lauren Southern. So, the show was technically started about 2.5 hours ago, guys. If you want to know when the show is, it's 2.5 hours earlier from now, sort of thing. Or 3 hours earlier, actually, most times from now. So just take 3 hours off your current time. Did you find the quote?
Yeah. No, she said, sorry, but I will not waste a single gig on this woman whispering bullshit. I know you follow her preaching, but I don't buy.
Right.
Talking about propaganda, she is an excellent example of hate and miscommunication. And then wrote, I've been watching Abby Martin, Empire Files, now that's what I call an eye-opener. she hates Lauren.
Your mother is lost.
Yeah, she hates Lauren. But at the end of it, I finally went through and, convinced her to watch it. And she then writes, I sent her an email saying, it's been censored and they deleted it. And then she said, I don't see why unless they want some attention and free publicity. There's nothing actually new on that film. Most people already know about boat smugglers. Well, not really. But yeah, she ended up saying that it was actually a pretty good documentary and nice to see Lauren Southern, growing up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay.
It's Mum Sat. Mum Sat is not a fan of Lauren Southern.
Yeah.
It's funny because my dad actually said the same thing. Apparently this is something that we didn't know about back in the 20, 30 years ago or whatever. This whole boat smuggling thing coming to Australia, bringing refugees and all that. Apparently it was all exposed.
When?
Ages ago. My dad also talked about it too because I was talking to him about it and he was like, yeah, this is not new, son. Obviously it was a different situation because they were talking about bringing smugglers or smuggling people into Australia. So I guess it was around the 1980s or 80s or so. But yeah, apparently it was all got exposed with NGOs doing it then. So I'm guessing that once the NGOs failed to bring them into Australia, they then tried to bring them into Europe, maybe?
That might be what's going on. Yeah. I mean, we exposed it here. Yeah, but that was a long time ago before our media went all social justice, right?
Yeah.
So we got the truth out before they could censor it.
Yeah.
Or before things changed. But in Canada, Europe, etc., Yeah, it looks like it's a different thing.
Yeah, so yeah, they were apparently sending smugglers, refugees, and stuff over to Australia, Canada, America, sort of thing. And then after that, they then focused on sending them over to Europe. So, but I don't know, guys. This is going to be the show for the day. Let us know what your thoughts are on any of the topics that we covered today. Obviously, at the end of the day, big shout out to everybody who has jumped in and watched us throughout the day. I know it's a public holiday over in America, so I do appreciate you guys taking time out of your public holiday. Obviously, guys, go and pay respects to memorials or to the veterans for anybody that's in America. Apart from that, guys, obviously, big shout out to everybody who, like I said, has watched us later on video on demand. Thanks so much for coming. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, I suppose. Anything else to finally say before I go cutting floorboards?
I might not be able to jump in tomorrow, and I definitely can't make it Thursday. If I can jump in tomorrow, it might be for an hour or so.
Alright, that's good.
Yeah. I've got to go out and do stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, guys, I'm going to go and cut floorboards, and that's not anything else. I'm actually meaning that I seriously have to go and cut floorboards. Apart from that, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, guys, thank you, everybody. Love yous. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great night and enjoy.